One uneventful day, my lazy-ass self has visited the Genshin Impact Discord server, and to my surprise, a new channel was made, named Resin Rehab, and some mods changed their names to resin-based ideas. So I took a look at the channel and, yep, it's just what I expected, a complete mess. Most are suggestions on either removing or revamping the resin system, but a vocal lot of others are either just hating the game entirely for it or defending it to hell. Hello, this is Kaicha Karishima, and today we're going to tackle my take on this resin issue. If you watched my recent video about Genshin Impact criticisms, you'll notice that I did not include the resin issue stuff. Well, I have two explanations for that. First, I was already finished with my rendering when I saw the resin arguments. And the second reason is that it never really bothered me, to be honest. I guess I got too used on the stamina system by some other MOBA games, particularly with Honkai Impact 3. With that game, at first, I wanted more stamina, but then I just forgot about it and played the game on my own pace. And by the time I went to level 80, the stamina system did not even bother me anymore. But Genshin's resin system was different. Well, yeah, you can still fight the bosses in the world, but you won't get anything if you don't put any resins on the lay flower. And I think this is what most resin haters was vocal about, and I can understand where they're coming from. Unlike mobile users, console and PC players are more than willing to grind and grind and grind for hours to get what they want. Even I got into that phase, from Grand Chase to Dragonest and then to Elsword. I'll never forget the hours upon hours of grueling grinding that I and the rest of the player base went through to advance jobs and get good gear. The memory of that one quest from Grand Chase is still seared in my mind. And you know what that quest is? Well, the quest is to get 100 spear tips from mobs. And by the way, those tips are not guaranteed drops. Well, maybe about 50%, but most of the time I just get half of what I need from the monsters on every dungeon level that I farm it. And that is part 1 of 3. You can just imagine the second part and the third part of it. Now, I'm not saying to remove the resin system completely. I still want a guaranteed loot per kill after all. And also, Mihoyo won't let go of the resin system whether you like it or not. But what I and most of the player base want is a complete rehaul of the system. PC and console players are more than willing to grind bosses for a loot chance if that means not limiting their time in game. Make resin a guaranteed loot key instead of a requirement to get loot from bosses. And one more thing. Remove the resin system in domains. It just ruins the fun in multiplayer because if no one has no resin left, then it's over entirely. All in all, I think it just boils down to one fault Mihoyo did. Put a mobile game mechanic to a game that's marketed to PC and consoles too, when in turn made a good chunk of the player base mad. At this point, the resin hate train is still going, and I saw some threats of a mass review bomb here and there. Well, maybe I just misread something. But all I can say for now is, get your acts together and wait for the official patch to be released. It might be a small thing to some, but making a channel dedicated to suggestions on how to reform resin instead of either silencing or outright banning the ones who talk about it is a good move by the GI Discord mods. Well, at least I won't see another r/anime memes situation in here. I think it's also a display of goodwill by the mods to let the users know that they're not just banhammers and that devs of the game are listening. I'll say it again. Wait for the 1.1 patch to be released. Then you get to decide whether the game is still playable for you or not. In all seriousness though, I think that the devs will listen to us. I mean, come on. The game made almost $100 million on its first 2 weeks. If they really want to keep that momentum going, then they have to keep on making good updates and not screw up. Well, if they screw up, then I guess I'll just see another curse spell downward spiral. But I still have hope for the best on this one. Finally. I guess I'm done telling my part. How about you? What's your take on this resin issue? Tell me in the comments below. And if you like this video and want to see more of these, subscribe to my channel. It really helps. With all that said, I guess it's back on grinding for materials. Yay!